Well then, we finally received the long-awaited Resident Evil showcase. We were shown a lot of interesting footage, from new gameplay scenes featuring Leon and an updating crafting system, to a new gameplay style for Grace and completely new types of monsters, including what appeared to be their mutated variants. However, while watching the showcase, I had many questions that still remain unanswered, so let's dive a bit deeper into the context that was shown to us and outline the first foundations for my next deep analytical video where I will break down all the new footage from Resident Evil showcase. My name is Scyris Nova and welcome to my pre-analytical video on the showcase of Resident Evil Requiem. Let's start with the very first footage and accordingly with the very first unresolved moments from the showcase. Number 1. Hospital Geometry. Inside the building's interior there are many corners and the 3D designers clearly worked on the building's facade and on the correct geometry of the angles as well as on the length and width of different rooms. Judging by these shots and by how stunning the various patterns on the columns look, the wall volume and the sharpness of the corners, only one question worries me. Is the geometry done correctly or not? Does the building's facade align perfectly with the interior layout, corner to corner, or are there still some flaws somewhere that will remain until release? I won't go into the details of the interior itself because this is a question that needs to be examined very precisely and thoroughly, but for the sake of an interest, we can leave it open. Write your thoughts in the comments below, what do you think about it, and if you found something interesting, type it also below. Number 2. First footage of Leon at the hotel. At first, I thought that Leon would unexpectedly be present at the hotel, which would change the entire logic of the chronology of events completely. But in the top right corner, it says that this footage was taken from an initial development stage and will not appear in the game. From this comes the logical question, will any aspects of this footage remain in the final version of the game? It's clear that we will mostly be exploring the hotel as Grace, but the fact that these removed scenes exist suggests that we may still see them through Grace's perspective. At the very least, this passageway, even though it clearly looks graphically unfinished, which was also shown in the first trailer of the game, will definitely be present in the hotel. But it's interesting how much the appearance of these spaces will change in the final version of Resident Evil Requiem. Write your thoughts about this in the comments below, and we're moving to the next question. Number 3. Leon's strength balance. The new gameplay footage of Leon is amazing, but here is the question, how many hours a day did Leon train his legs at the gym? 8? Maybe 10? How can he crush zombie heads into pieces with just one push? I suspect that he may possess this strength as a consequence of past infections with various viruses and that some viral DNA microcells may still remain and give him such power. But the fact that he can crush zombie heads like plasticine with a single kick really surprised me. Or how he uses that same leg to perform a spinning kick that throws zombies at least 3-4 meters away, which from a physics standpoint seems impossible to me. This raises the question, will Leon's strength balance relative to zombies be adjusted, or will everything remain as it is? That's an interesting one. Number 4. Keycard system in the game. In this shot, we see a special blue color panel that is located right near some door. It immediately reminded me of the card key system in Resident Evil 2 Remake with levels 1, 2 and 3 respectively. In earlier trailer footage, we already saw that. For example, the isolation ward is also locked with the card key, but it's already level 2. The question is, will the same lock system be used here or will it be something different? I think we'll find out at release, but the question is quite interesting because I suspect that we will spend a significant amount of gameplay time in this hospital, gradually upgrading the card level to the maximum while also searching for increments for saving. We'll talk about saving a little bit later. Number 5. Antique coins. I won't dwell on this for long, but I'll just throw in the question of how they will be used in the game, the same way as in Resident Evil 7 with new weapons and lock cages, or will there be a different mechanic? Write your assumptions in the comments below, but for now let's straightly move on to the next question. Number 6. Animation issues in the game. If we look at these shots, we can see that some finishing animations have certain flaws. Even in just these scenes, we can see that the execution of this zombie is physically illogical, as its arm clips into the body and the chainsaw somehow falls out of its hands while Leon calmly finishes it with a headshot. The shot with the woman also has animation issues. While she's on her knees, Leon uses a melee attack to pin her against the wall. To do this, he swings his leg and she seemingly stands up specifically so that Leon can slam her into the wall, as if he gave her a command to get up from her knees just so he could split her head with an axe. These flaws are visible in macro details, so instead of a question, I'll make a small report without any negativity. Capcom, please fix the animation issues. But I think they already know about this, so let's move on to our next matter. Number 7. Finisher activation. While examining these flaws, I asked myself, how will we activate these finishers? Is there a special button or do they trigger automatically? For example, in the scene with the chainsaw zombie, we see Leon first shooting its body, leaving it with very low health, then approaching closer, pressing the right mouse button to aim, then pressing the fire button, but instead of a shot, a finisher is triggered. Will this always work like this, or will we be able to activate it via specific keyboard or gamepad buttons? Write your opinion in the comments below, but now let's move on to the next question. Number 8. Hatchet Sharpening. The game shows us a mechanic for sharpening the axe, but I'm curious to go deeper. So the question is, will we need to search for materials to sharpen it, or for the sharpener itself in the game, or will it always be available to us until the very end of the game? I'll leave this question open for now so that you can think about it and write your thoughts in the comments below, but for now, let's move on. Number 9. Ammunition for the Requiem pistol. At the showcase, they announced the name of this Magnum-type revolver, Requiem. My questions here are not so much about the revolver itself, but about its ammunition. Sometimes it's red, we saw that on a poster for the Resident Evil showcase, sometimes it's purple, and we see this in the gameplay. The question is, will different ammo types have different characteristics, or will they all be the same type? There are many theories about this on Reddit and X, but for now we won't focus on it because we'll touch this question deeply in my next analytical video of Resident Evil showcase footages, which will come out next week. Number 10. Crafting system. Now, in order to craft anything as Grace, you need to collect infected blood from killed zombies. A bit later, we see what Grace can craft in the future. And here, we see that we can create at least 3 mixtures using only green herbs, which is, well, illogical, because we can see 2 same mixtures of 3 green herbs instead of only 1 mixture of this type. The question is, did they intentionally hide the presence of yellow and red herbs in the game, or is this just a regular bug? Logically, we can assume that yellow and red herbs will be in the game alongside green ones, but it's interesting why they would hide this if it's already obvious. Or will we actually only have green herbs? Plus, I really don't understand how you can make pistol ammunition out of blood and scrap. On the one hand, it makes no sense at all, but on the other hand, it's apparently some kind of new game mechanic. Write your opinion about this in the comments below. Number 11. Trading in the game. If you remember, Koshi Nakanishi mentioned in a separate interview that there will be no merchant in the game and that resources would appear as you progress. If we look at Leon's inventory shot from the official Resident Evil Requiem website, we can see an icon of some in-game currency, whether it's credits or some kind of cents. Does this mean that we will still be buying something in the game or trading with someone? What's most interesting is that we apparently can have 5 or even 6-digit amounts of this currency, since the column for displaying these credits is quite long and may indicate an updated trading system that hasn't been revealed yet. And even if we do buy something from someone, the main question is, where will we do this? This clearly has to happen in an open space, and one of such spaces that will appear in the game is at least Raccoon City. What do you think about this? I still don't understand what this currency system is for, but I'll try to propose one interesting theory in my next analytical video, so please stay tuned and subscribe to my channel if you don't want to skip it. Number 12. Saving system. As we know, for the classic standard difficulty, you need to find ink ribbons to save the game. The question is, will we need to craft them or will they be a full-fledged item? The question is very important because it directly affects the new saving mechanic in Resident Evil franchise. I already know the answer to this question and it will be included in the full breakdown of the new showcase footage. Number 13. In-game collaborations. Now I'll probably voice one of the most loaded questions possible. Do in-game collaborations affect the events of the game in any way, timeline-wise, story-wise, or gameplay-wise? So far we've seen 2 collaborations, with Porsche car and with Hamilton watches. While watching the showcase I thought about many aspects of the game. For example, will we even be able to drive a car? What is the driving mechanic for the Porsche? Does it have any significance in the game at all? And if we're talking about the watches, are they an important element of the lore as well? After all, the watches are expensive and their models, even though they are different, are worn by both Leon and Grace. Or are all these collaborations made purely for Capcom's financial goals? Because I'm sure the limited number of these watches will sell out in less than a day. Plus, demand for Porsche among wealthier Resident Evil fans will rise significantly. Write in the comments whether Resident Evil Requiem would be perfect even without these collaborations, or whether it's good that they exist in the game and create a bridge with the real world. After all, they were given quite a lot of time during the showcase. Write your opinion about this in the comments below. Number 14. Resident Evil Requiem Collector's Edition. As we already know, we were shown a statue of Leon and a statue of Grace, which can be combined into one statue. Based on the screenshot, I have 2 questions. Will there be a Resident Evil Requiem Collector's Edition, or will we only get 2 separate statues? And the second question, here they showed us all the possible figures that were officially released by Capcom. Koji Nakanishi said back in 2025 that we shouldn't expect Chris Redfield in the game. Here we see 2 Leon figures from Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 4 Remake, as well as a Jill figure from Resident Evil 3 Remake. The question is, are Capcom hinting that Jill will also appear in Resident Evil Requiem, or is this just our imagination? Considering the fact that they said, if we collect all the figures together, and then quickly cut this sentence off during the showcase, this is a really interesting question. Number 15. Resident Evil Requiem controller for Nintendo Switch 2. Here I just wanna briefly ask whether Capcom will make exclusive controllers for other gaming platforms, please Capcom, or if this promotion only applies to Nintendo Switch 2. You can write your opinion about this, but let's not dwell on this advertisement and move on to the final uncertainties from the showcase. Number 16. Post-showcase trailer footage. After the showcase, we were shown the final shots from an intermediate new trailer. For now, I'll highlight 2 main questions that interest me mostly. First, let's take a look at the new dialogue between Grace and Victor.
Why did you kidnap me?
Kidnap you? I liberated you.
The question is broad, but will he be able to free Elpis through Grace as the game progresses? If he has already freed Grace, as he claims, then she, being free, could become the key to freeing some form of Elpis. Second question, who the hell is this? This is clearly a new type of monster, just like the cook in the kitchen, which has obviously mutated and acquired this appearance. Is this Victor? Or maybe a character we already know? He clearly knows Grace and explicitly says that he will not forgive her.
What the fuck?
What did we do to him that, even while infected, he will not forgive us? Write your opinion on these 2 questions in the comments below. I'm always interested in reading your theories. They might even make it into my full analysis of the new footage from the showcase that will be released next week. In conclusion, I will not ask general questions like when will the demo be released, or when will we get new information from Capcom, or what should we expect next. Here I can only guess and point blindly at the sky, and in the end we may either guess correctly or be wrong, so let's leave all that to other people. If you made it to this point, then you didn't watch this video for nothing, because what comes next is a full analysis of the showcase and the new footage we saw. Some of the questions I asked here will be covered in the analysis, and some are simply food for thought. Write comments about what you think of the showcase, whether you liked it and which moments worry you the most. But for now, that's it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't skip any new analytical videos regarding Resident Evil Requiem. My name is Scyris Nova, and thank you so much for watching my new discussion and simultaneously pre-analytical video on the showcase of Resident Evil Requiem.
I think I want a second opinion.